Rising, streetcar, 4 hours in the office or the factory. Meal, streetcar, 4 hours of work. Meal, sleep. Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday, according to the exact same rhythm. Most of a human life is spent following this unthinking, relentless mechanical loop. But eventually, the rhythm stops. A sudden, quiet why rises to the surface of the mind, and the conceptual stage sets of our daily routines entirely collapse. As humans, we possess a hardwired biological and psychological demand to make sense of things. We have a desperate need to find clarity, unity, and a grand cosmic purpose to justify all of our motion. The problem is, the universe does not offer one. The French-Algerian writer Albert Camus argued that the absurd is not a property of the physical world, nor is it a defect in human nature. The absurd is the violent friction that occurs when our desperate demand for meaning crashes directly into an indifferent, silent reality. Think of this dynamic like making an emergency phone call. Humanity is gripping the receiver, urgently demanding an explanation from the cosmos, but all we hear on the other end of the line is a dead dial tone. Realizing that no one is ever going to pick up, that no rescue is coming, and no ultimate meaning will be handed down to us, creates an agonizing psychological tension. For Camus, acknowledging this void forces a terrifying question. If existence is meaningless, should we decide to keep living? Once we hear the dial tone, we cannot unhear it. We are thrust into a forced choice, a test for our own survival, where logic leaves us with exactly 3 exits. The first exit is physical suicide. If the universe refuses to supply a reason to play the game, the base instinct is to simply walk off the field. But if we look at this diagram mapping the absurd, we see why Camus rejects this option. If the vertical line is our demand for meaning, and the horizontal line is the universe's silence, physical suicide just erases the vertical line. It destroys the questioner instead of answering the question. By destroying the equation, death operates as an evasion of the absurd, not a triumph over it. The second exit is what Camus called philosophical suicide. Thinkers like the existentialist Karl Jaspers, pictured here, or Soren Kierkegaard, attempt to cure the absurd by inventing a cosmic meaning or placing their hope in an afterlife. To Camus, relying on hope is a betrayal of human reason. It requires a blind leap of faith, a mental trick designed specifically so we can look away from the agonizing reality of a meaningless universe. Both physical suicide and philosophical suicide arrive at the exact same result. They are cowardly escapes, methods of closing your eyes so you do not have to stare into the void. That leaves Camus' third path, rebellion. Rebellion is the conscious choice to keep your eyes open. It is the decision to look directly into the meaningless void and refuse to lie, refuse to hope, and refuse to die. Returning to our diagram, the lines reappear and lock together. Camus argues we must live directly inside that tension, holding the contradiction of our desire for meaning against the world's silence, without seeking a cure. Maintaining this exact unyielding pressure is existential freedom. This unblinking defiance is the ultimate victory. It proves that the human mind is capable of knowing its absolute limits without being crushed by them. This chart shows the traditional hierarchy of how we value experiences. Observe what happens when you strip away cosmic hope. That vertical structure collapses downward into a single, flat plane. Without a divine scoreboard, a grand religious epiphany holds the exact same philosophical value as a fleeting physical sensation. This leads to Camus' Mediterranean philosophy. He demands a fierce embrace of our present wealth, the immediate physical world right in front of us. Because the universe hides no secret truths, the warmth of the sun on your skin and the salt of the sea become the only verifiable, undeniable truths left to us. This brings us back to the Greek myth of Sisyphus. Condemned by the gods to push a heavy rock up a mountain, only to watch it roll back down for eternity, his endless, meaningless labor is the exact mirror of the human condition. Yet through pure, lucid consciousness of his fate, Sisyphus defeats the gods. By fully accepting the hopelessness of the task, he takes ownership of the rock.
His fate belongs to him. The physical reality of the struggle, the heavy breathing, the straining muscles, the rich taste of a hot coffee before the work begins, is entirely sufficient to fill a human heart. The weight of an absurd existence isn't a punishment at all. It is simply the beautiful, tactile friction of being alive.